In this video, I want to talk about the master model concept. Master model is not something that was invented by Solidworks, but it was probably invented in Pro Engineer or another powerful legacy CAD product. It's essentially the idea that you would make a shape like this alarm clock in a single part to start with, and then you'd break it out into individual pieces that would become parts, and then bring it back together as an assembly. So the master model is this original part where everything was originally created. So if you wanted to change the shape of the overall clock, you'd come back here to this part, change the shape, save out the resulting bodies as parts, and then bring them back together as an assembly. There's a single feature that does most of this for you, but I'm going to go through my idea of the master model process. Master model is really based on tools that import and export body data and use it as parts, or goes the other direction, uses parts as body data. I classify the different types of tools that are available for this as push and pull. So first you have master model, and then master model has push and pull tools. The push and pull tools essentially push data out or pull data in. And this is all about parent-child relationships and where the control is. Where does the feature wind up in the tree? Does it end up in the parent or in the child? And I think you'll see why I distinguish between push and pull. My preference is to use push type functions because then the workflow is more easily established. It goes from the initial shape to the completed shape to individual bodies within that shape, separating the bodies out to components, and then bringing the components back together as an assembly. So let's take a look first at how this clock model was made. Notice that I've put all of my base features in a folder, and if we roll this back and take a look, we start out with a simple loft. We trim it out, put some revolves in here, and these bodies might be hidden, so we can go to surface bodies and turn these on. Okay. Trim back. Use a surface fill on one end, surface fill on the other. A couple of planes, another loft for the bottom. A fillet to go around. Another surface fill, some fillets, and you kind of get the idea of how this was made. Then the whole thing was thickened into a solid. We can go back here and turn this surface body off now since everything is solid. And from here it was shelled out. Now the shell in this one is a little unique because it doesn't open up a face, but if you take a section through it, you can see the part is hollow. So this is just preparing us for getting a bunch of thin-walled parts that don't have to be shelled out individually. So that's how the base shape was created. And then from there were several sketches that were used to split out individual bodies. All of these bodies are completed here, and I applied different colors just to make them easily distinguishable from one another. And I put a transparent appearance on the front because we're going to want to see those numbers when you wake up. This much in itself is not master model, but it's getting you ready for creating a master model. To make this into a master model, here's what you do. Right-click on the Solid Bodies folder and go to Save Bodies. This takes all of the bodies that are in here, and it can name them individually with auto-assign or manually naming them. And then it will create an assembly, which essentially puts all the parts back together again. What's the advantage of this? Well, there are a lot of advantages of having an assembly file over individual part files. One is that it's easier to get a bill of materials. Exploded views are a lot easier. If you want to reuse parts, there's no way to do that with a multi-body part. You can only do that with an assembly component. And if there's any assembly motion involved, you're not going to be able to do that with a multi-body part. You have to have an assembly for that. And your file management, if you have to reuse any of your parts in other assemblies, that's going to be not impossible, but just really inconvenient. Just hit the auto name. Again, you can name these manually if you want. I would not recommend using the consume cut bodies because then your master model is left with nothing in it. Propagate visual properties, yes, if you want to take colors or appearances or whatever from the bodies to the assembly, then that'd be a good idea. An origin location, if you don't establish it yourself, it's going to automatically use the part origin as the origin for each individual body. If you've got more than 10 bodies in your assembly, then you'll have to do this a couple of times probably. Make sure that you're seeing all of the individual parts. Custom properties from your original part to the new parts, that depends on how you've got things set up. Create assembly. Now browse and then place your clock assembly and establish templates for both your parts and your assembly. And when you get it all set up, hit the green check. Solidworks saves out all the individual parts, creates a new assembly file for you, and then brings the parts back in to the assembly. And because they all share a common origin already, all the parts go back exactly where they're supposed to be. And now you can work on how these parts are held together. And if you have to add any additional parts like a circuit board or a display panel, all of that is easy enough to do. You also may want to add additional features to each one of these bodies, and that's certainly possible to do. Now we have a Save Bodies feature in the Feature Manager. And when you open the assembly, this is what you get. An assembly manager full of individual parts. Each one of these parts has a stock feature in it, and that stock feature is essentially the original body. If we open this up, you'll be able to see that in its own window here. And so if you needed to put a reveal around this or some sort of a bevel or a fillet around it or a connecting feature to connect to another part, you can continue to add features onto this part to complete it as a finished moldable component. Anything that you add will show up back in the assembly. In fact, you can create in-context features in here if you need to do that. Just as a piece of advice, I think the in-context work is best done when you're in the master model rather than in the assembly. So if you have to do things that refer to other parts, don't do them here in the assembly because it's just going to slow everything down for you. I think if you do those in the master model, your changes, your updates, your rebuilds, everything will be more efficient. If you look at my feature manager, you're seeing the M in a circle with gear teeth on it. This is because I'm using the Maker version to make these videos. I don't need to use a full commercial license to create videos, but the Maker version does this very nicely since it has all of the functionality and it only costs $48. Okay, not that I'm advertising for SolidWorks, but it's something you might find useful. And the limitation here is that you can't share these models with commercial license. So they'll be like an educational license has that limitation as well. So if you're wondering what the M was all about, that's what it is. It's not some other special feature. If you need to edit any one of these individual parts, you can expand it, go down to the feature, right click, and edit the feature. That will send you back to the master model, and you can make any changes that you need to make, for example, to the name here. Now I want to go back to the master model, and I'm just going to use Control Tab to do that. Okay, we know we're in the master model here because we have a part symbol at the top of the list. And I want to show you another tool. We looked at the Save Bodies tool here. And all this does is save out existing bodies. But I'm going to roll that back for a second. And so we're kind of suppressing it. If you go to Insert, Features, Split, the split function will do exactly what the Save Bodies does. So you'll notice that the second half of the split property manager is the same as Save Bodies, but the first half is a little different. If you have a model that can be split easily by selecting just a couple of tools, then you can use the split to do the splitting and saving out the bodies and bringing it back together as an assembly all in one step. The split function allows you to do the entire process all in one feature. So that's very convenient in one way, but it might be cumbersome in another way because maybe your split isn't as clean as something that you can just select a couple of splitting tools to do that. So both the split and the Save Bodies are pretty much the same function. They're both what we call push tools for master model because they push the data out, and the data about that push is saved in the Save Bodies feature. So the Save Bodies feature within the master model remembers where each one of the individual parts is located. So let's finish up this video, and the next one will be about 2 more pull features. Thanks for watching.